joining us today on TV and Business Daily. I am Chimando Isisiago, and today we shall be discussing on trade relations in Africa, the African Free Trade Area Agreement, and impact of Covid-19. Of course, I have with me in the studio today two guests from Ethiopia. I have with me the President of East African Student and Youth Organization, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Mr. Aduna Yasso Getso. You're welcome to TV and Business Daily.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome. And also I have with me the Executive Committee member, the East Africa Student and Youth Organization, Huluka Sharu Marcos. You're welcome to TV and Business Daily today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
And how was the trip to Nigeria?
Nigeria is very good, beautiful area. It's also a land of great nation. We're doing very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, sir?
Okay. Nigeria is very nice country. It's a great nation. It's very blessed land and we are enjoying it here.
Alright, thank you very much. Okay, now moving straight to the topic. We're talking about trade relations in Africa, the African Free Trade Area Agreement, and impact of Covid-19. Now my first question for you today is that how would you assess the trade relations in Africa generally? Let's start with the President.
Okay, when we start from the general situation of trade relations in Africa, we can see it as during the pre-colonial period and the post-colonial period, because these things are very important to assess the current situation of trade relations in Africa. During the pre-colonial period, there was a good relationship between different countries, even though they were using all the types of transactions and the old way of exchange of money and the goods. It was very nice. They had a good relationship with each other. But during the transition from colonization to decolonization period, this kind of relationship was interrupted because of different factors. Like that, there was a war between the local governors to fight against the colonization, and after that, there was the decrement of this relationship during that period. And when you come to the post-colonial period, even though it is not as that of during the pre-colonial period, it's promising, because the formation of different regional interconnection on trade are formed. For example, ECOWAS, that of Western Africa and the Central African Economic Community. And when you come to Eastern Africa, there are trade relations between Southern and Eastern as COMESA, and also specifically to Eastern Africa, Eastern African Economic Community, and for Southern Africa, Southern African Economic Community. These are promising, which integrate regions of Africa to have a good relationship on trade areas. And also after the formation of World Trade Organization, there is also idea for the formation of Africa continental free trade area. So during the post-colonial period, after we get our independence from the colonizer, Africa tried to establish its own trade relations with each other, so that they tried to form Western African Economic Community, Eastern African Economic Community, and Central, so that there is a good relationship between those countries who are located in different specific regions of Africa. But when we assess this trade relation in general, it is improving. For example, if this is the data from 1995, it is the intra-Africa trade relationship was around only 10%, and on 2017 it is increased to around 17%. So it shows a little improvement, but it is not as such of that of Europe, North America, and the Asia, because we as Africans, we need those monies to survive us, so that our trade relationship is not as such of that of Europe and other continental countries.
Thank you very much, Mr. Getty. You really emphasized on the relations between the country, and mean that the relationship between the countries are very good. Okay, now let's hear from Mr. Marcos. What do you have to say?
Okay, as my brother mentioned, trade relation in Africa is poor, because despite of many challenges, even it is growing up, what we see now is good. And at the end of July 2020, 26 countries updated their trade figure. What we see from that figure is they valued about $69 billion, which accounted 15% out of the total trade of the Africa. In generally, in past 10 years, the trade is very low, poor. The highest was recorded during 2015 and 2016, which was about 20%. When we compare this relationship or trade relationship, intra-trade, Africa intra-trade with the another world, even it is account about 15 to 20%. When we see Europe share it about 69%, which is export market. In export market, 69%, and also Asia share about 59%. America also share above 30. This indicate our relation, especially cross-border market due to tariff. Even as my brother mentioned before, we have regional economic community, as he mentioned. This also the country which participate in this intra-Africa trade is only the member of that economy region. When I take COMESA stand for southern and the eastern part of Africa. Nigeria cannot participate there because of the block or because of the regional. Because the regional organizations indicate poor interrelationship, poor connection, network. So I hope that this is gonna be improved after the implementation of Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This will get solution. The another thing is, as my brother mentioned, pre-colonial. Even though there was a traditional transaction way, it is good. And also currently, after post-colonial, we are grow up. There is nothing happen overnight. There is good movement. Even we're gonna to have a single market as Africa in 2063, line agenda of AU. So we have hope, but it is poor. We can say that it is poor.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, before we quickly go on a break, I want to ask you this question. So now, would this situation of trade remain the same post-COVID-19 in Africa?
This trade relationship was probably improving, even though it's not as of expected first. But this COVID-19 pandemic imposed a lot of challenges on already pre-existing problems of our nation. So this may be not the same after COVID-19 because of different restrictions. When we come to specific challenges which COVID-19 imposed on African trade, there is an ongoing process of development of African Continental Free Trade Area. So the plan was to launch on January 2021. And before that, there are a lot of ongoing process for this implementation, so that one of the meeting or assembly of this African Continental Free Trade Area was postponed for 6 months, so that this COVID-19 imposed a lot of challenges to already existing challenges, so that it may postpone those existing ongoing process in the next. But I hope, since it is not everlasting after this COVID passed, the only problem what will happen is only the time problem. Otherwise, it will be improved.
All right, thank you. Mr. Marcos, do you have anything to say regarding what you just said?
During the COVID time, even it is gonna pass, 42 countries lockdown, no transaction, no interaction, no movement. If there is no movement, if there is no interaction, no trade. Trade is about exchange. about a product, about a movement, so no surface. Because of this also affect trade. I hope that, as my brother mentioned, the agenda of free trade area, Africa Continental Free Trade Area, was delayed. They have planned to launch in coming January 1. That was delayed now. Even in December 5, they try to collect virtually, not that much. This also affect trade in Africa. Even not only trade, the people can't move from one place to another. There is no work. There is no any function. This also affect trade. Yes.
All right. We're taking a quick break now, and then after the break, we'll continue with our discussion. So stay with us.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter at Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business. I mean, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all the social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
Thanks for joining us again on the program. And if you're just joining us, it's Stephen Business Daily. Like I said earlier, we've been discussing on trade relations in Africa, the African Free Trade Area Agreement, and impact of COVID-19. Of course, my guest has been discussing with us on that. The first on my list is the President is African Student and Youth Organizations from Addis Ababa, Mr. Aduna Eyasu Getso. And second on my list is Mr. Huluka Sharu Marcos. All right, thank you very much. Okay, now my next question is for you. Is that what do you advise for Africa vis the African Free Trade Area Agreement? Let me start with Mr. Marcos.
Okay, thank you. When we implement this great project, it's a big project even in the world. We should have to consider the internal problem. Above 19% African trade come from micro, small and enterprise. So this should need consideration. The other thing is farmer, agriculture, local industry. We don't know what will happen, especially many countries fear about this. What going to happen in small enterprises and also agriculture, our food security, local industry. This should be need a consideration. The another thing is about peace and stability. Even we have absorbed many countries is not stable now. To achieving this goal, we need peace and stability. The government should play a huge role. Huge role. So we advise. I highly advise that the internal strategy, the investment policy, not only as a general. Each of country should have the strategy which align with Africa Continental Free Trade Area. It should be not oppose his strategy. I think about 55 countries signed the signatory to be able to implement this, and also about above 30 are paid ratification. So we recommend this. In addition to this, Africa Continental Free Trade Area is the only option we have to remove our smallness, our fragmentation, economic fragmentation, and also to have a common currency. even to gap a problem of infrastructure. So the government should give priority and also attention to this problem, to solve this problem.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President. What advice would you give to the African Free Trade and Area Agreements?
The African Free Trade Zone area is really a very interesting trade organization. This is a big organization when it comes to World Trade Organization, because it includes these all African countries, and also it is expected to raise African GDP. So that this is a huge project, so that each countries, each regions should give a priority to develop this organization until the end, because this lengthy process, it has been started on the 19th ordinary session of African Union in 2012. Till now it is not fully implemented, so that what I would like to advise our leaders, our African leaders, is to increase, to facilitate this as early as possible, to launch it as early as possible by giving attention to one, the internal situation, internal economic policy. The second very important is since the trade is integration, there should be a good infrastructure which connects each countries. There should be a good road. There should be the road which connects to different ports. For example, in Eastern Africa, as a part of this World African Free Trade Area, there is a road which is being built from Addis Ababa to Mombasa. This is a huge road which connects Ethiopia with Kenya port, so that this is as an example. So we have a lot of ports across Africa continent, so that there should be a good road infrastructure, especially to connect these countries, and also different checkpoints and other facilities which are very important to develop this organization.
Thank you very much. You spoke more on the African Free Trade Area Agreement. Now I want to ask, before we conclude, do you see it as a step in the right direction?
Yes, we can say that, yes. But it is not as expected. It is not as expected due to COVID and other challenges. It is a good starting. Even it is planned to implement in January 1, 2021. This is good. I think it is in right direction.
All right, thank you. This is
Yeah, you can say it is on good direction, but the problem is only the delay. There is a delay because it was started 8 years back, but until now it's not fully implemented.
okay. All right, thank you very much. So now your final take before we close.
Okay, what I want to say at the end is just Africa Free Trade Area is the only way in which Africa can be integrated through trade and to build our economy, so that we have to create a good relationship, a good intercontinental trade relationship, rather than connecting our trade to Europe, to China or other countries. We have to be connected with each other and develop a good trade relation with each other. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Marcos, what's your final take?
To have a single market, we should have a common currency.
Okay.
And also we should have, I think in this agenda, airport, Africa, the single airport was planned in this agenda. This is also the good try. And also my recommendation is about a currency. Even we can't go our home, our neighborhood, we can't go our home, Nigeria. This is the problem of the currency, and also we should have common currency. This is my high recommendation now.
All right, so that's all you have to say about the currency.
Currency, in a sense, when we take Europe above 10 or 15 countries have common currency. common currency. Which means Ethiopia birr, Nigeria naira, Kenya shilling. This should be removed.
Okay.
To have single market, even if we have single market, by what we can exchange? To exchange, we should, even we use dollar, we buy dollar. This should be removed. As Africa, we should have common currency. And also, yes, right, we have resource. Yes, right, we have knowledge. Yes, right, we have a huge population. The population is the big advantage. Africa Continental Free Trade Area to cover above 1.2 billion consumers, and also it's gonna to cover 2.4 GDP. This is the huge. No like this organization in the world in terms of counterparts, better counter. I think I try to see. So this is a big project, a big bank. So it needs currency, common currency.
All right.
Currency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aduna Yasugetu, for coming on Chicken Business today. It was good to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you also, Mr. Humka Sharu Marcus, for coming on Chicken Business. It was good to have you today. And Mr. Getty said that African Free Trade Area Agreement is a way to build our economy and develop a good relationship. Then Mr. Marcus said that the African Free Trade Area Agreement, we should have a common currency so that it could help the economy to grow. Thank you for coming on TVN today. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
And that's what you have for you today on TVN Business Daily. I am Chimando Osisiago. And don't forget that you can follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.